Boy, and thanks to you members of the Fourth Estate. We are here for a very key reason. But before we talk about that key reason for which we are here, I guess many of you are concerned and have been following this little petty, insignificant witch hunt that the government has been carrying out. So I would like to quickly kick that out of the way so we go to a much more important matter, the matter for which we are actually here. I arrived in Liberia on the 19th of December from Accra, and when I was coming, I instructed one of my assistants to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and procure for me a Laissez Passer. I used that Laissez Passer to travel from Accra to Liberia because I had wanted to seek to obtain a Schengen visa so that I would be able to visit my son who lives in Italy. That's why I could not travel on my Liberian passport to Liberia from Accra. I came to Monroe at RIA and presented the Laissez Passer. The immigration officer who processed it reviewed it in my presence, accepted it in my presence, and allowed me entry into my country. That was on the 19th of December. Fast forward, 3 weeks later, on the 10th of January, Friday of last week, I go to RIA to attempt to board my Brussels flight back to the US, and I receive intel or intelligence that the Ministry of Justice, on the orders of the Minister of Justice, Frank Musadin, had an order, the immigration had an order to stop me from leaving the country. And I realized that, and I felt I was not going to take the risk to give them my passport. They wanted me to give them my passport so they could seize it. And I did not present my passport to them. I informed the airline, and they took my bags off the flight, and I went back home. The Minister of Justice, I called him, he confirmed to me that they have been investigating how I obtained a Laissez Passer. So then they said, all we need you to do, Mr. Costa, is go to the immigration office and just write a simple statement that just tell us how you obtain it. And that's all. I went to the immigration office yesterday. Mr. Dumour accompanied me with my lawyer. We were there from 10 a.m. to 2:15 p.m. just to write a simple statement. I told them how I got it. The immigration boss said you broke no law by traveling on a Laissez Passer even though you had a valid passport, because you had an emergency for which you could not travel on your passport. The second thing he said, you also broke no law to have someone here in Liberia procure for you a Laissez Passer. He also said the Laissez Passer on which you travel, the booklet itself is valid, but the signature and the stamp, according to him, are forged. But the issue we raised is that when did you realize that the signature and the stamp are forged? Oh, you did not realize that when I arrived at the airport. You only realized, you said, oh, well, we were investigating, we found out, but we realized you were busy with a protest. So we wanted you to finish. When the law enforcement wants to go after you for something they believe you've done, do they say, let's wait for you to finish eating, or let's wait for you to finish taking bath? Pure witch hunt. But I want to say to the government, I've made arrangements. I've contacted my school. My school is aware that I may not be coming now. I have been granted excuse. So I'm not in a hurry to go back to America. I have options. I could even transfer online to do my studies. George Weah did the same thing, even though he learned nothing in the classroom. Because he's a very dull man. And get on the record. Get on the record. If they want me in Liberia, I will be in Liberia. And they better get ready for my tension. If they want to arrest me, let them come arrest me. But the main reason why we are here, that was nothing. You may not be aware, the government of Liberia, George Weah, has instructed that 9 oil blocks, 9 of your oil blocks be sold in one bid round. 9 oil blocks be sold in one bid round. And we have received credible information that of those 9 oil blocks, Mr. Weah has 50% share in 2 of them. Go and Google it. www.worldoil.com. Google it. Liberia to sell 9 oil blocks. Just put it in Google. They are about to sell 9 of your country's oil blocks. Quietly. Have they made any public pronouncement about it? No. They don't intend to. The COP, which is to inform you that we will begin to hold a series of mass meetings this week to review our earlier pronouncement of the suspension of protest activities so that we can reactivate our operations to resist any attempt by this government to banjo away 9 of our oil blocks. We will not let that happen. The next protest will be about oil. It will be an oil protest and not Laissez Passer, because I am here. Joria wants me here, I am here. So I can see him every other day and see how he steals and how he conducts himself. But I want to let you know, tomorrow morning I will be on the Costa show also. So since they want me here now, I will be here. So we can fight together. I said this to you. To our international friends, to the Interreligious Council, the Liberian Council of Churches, and all the interventionists. We appreciate your efforts, but it appears to us that you have an insincere partner in the government. The government is not interested in peace. After our peaceful protest, which was violently dispersed by the government, the COP extended or conducted itself in a magnanimous fashion. We suspended all protest activities until otherwise ordered. The government thinks it's a sign of weakness. John F. Kennedy says civility is not a sign of weakness. So we want to let the government know that we still have what it takes to put thousands on the streets in this town. And we are reviewing our position on that. Also, I want to inform you that as the Independent National Human Rights Commission stated in a report, there are very nefarious elements working for Nathaniel McGill. Ofori-Dia, you all members of the press will be very careful with these people. Colonel Joseph Nagbe, Augustine Nagbe, aka General Powell, CFA Normal, and the man who coordinates all these activities for Nathaniel McGill is the Deputy NSA boss, Sam Sion. Sam Sion, I want to put this information out there as a public announcement. Sam Sion is running a terror ring in this town. He is extorting money from business people, intimidating them, harassing them, shaking people down, and he reports to Nathaniel McGill. I also have credible information that on the day of our peaceful protest, it was Sam Sion who gave the orders that we be moved on. By directive of the president, those were his exact words. I want you all to know, reported Sam Sion, Deputy NSA boss. He is a terrorist. He is terrorizing people in this town, shaking people down, extorting money from people, and frightening them. We want to let them know that we are prepared. If they want to kill us, our chests are exposed. You don't see me wearing a bulletproof vest. We are in this town, and we are not afraid. The COP will be getting back to you shortly on our next course of action in the next couple of days. Thank you very much. At this point, I would like to stop here, and we'll take 4 questions only.
Yes, I just wanted to add, expanding on the point that Costa put forward very forcefully. The Laissez Passer that was presented at the airport, as far as the LRS is concerned, was a valid Laissez Passer.
Yes.
We do not know where people on social media have taken fake Laissez Passer from. This GOL received from Henry Pedro Costa on the 19th of December a valid travel certificate. The COP stands by Costa. We've looked into the case. We know that Henry Costa presented a valid. That is the only reason why a trained immigration officer would admit him without allowing. That's the point I wanted to clarify.
Yes.
Yes.
The Laissez Passer that was presented to me yesterday by the immigration boss has been forged. It's not the same Laissez Passer I presented to them at the airport. Take note of that. It is not the same Laissez Passer. They have the original. They let me in on it after they scanned it and it was validated. The one that was presented to me is not the one I presented to them. That is a lie. It was forged by George Weah. He and his people. And his girlfriend, the deputy immigration boss for operations, Abigail Wisse. George Weah's girlfriend, deputy immigration boss. She forged the document. It is not my Laissez Passer. Let's take the 4 questions and close up.
Yes, Arthur was here from the Daily Observer newspaper. Costa, is this the first time for you using Laissez Passer?
No, sir. I have used it before.
And secondly, if government does not prove anything in its point, are you prepared to take them to task?
I am not prepared to take them to task. Let them take me to task. We're focusing on the 9 oil blocks that Weah wants to sell.
Yeah.
Let them sue me for Laissez Passer.
Okay, Costa, my name is Emmanuel Country from Spoon TV. I want to know, you are talking about you not taking the government to tax on this issue. What do you make of your flight cancellation?
Well, I will leave when I want to leave. But right now, I'm not in any hurry to leave. I am here. I am here. Thank you.
Costa, I'm Ronald George from Smart News Liberia Online. You just told us that it was an instruction that came from Deputy NSA Director Sam Sion to disperse the car instead of the national the NMP boss. So how can you compromise these 2 statements coming from you?
I just told you we have credible sources. That's what I told you. Sam Sion was on the day of he was there on the scene. He was the one heard shouting the orders by directive of the president. Move in on the protesters. Sam Sion was responsible. And besides, he's a terrorist, a state-sponsored terrorist, using the apparatus of the state security paraphernalia. Thank you very much. The 3rd question.
My name is Ayazanya Nekaribo from Cool 91.9. When the next protest? 9 blocks.
Mass meetings first.
Yeah.
COP will begin to conduct mass meetings first across communities. We will begin to do that, and once we feel the time is right, we will make the pronouncement for the next protest.
And let me add up that protest on this oil issue will be more directed at the legislature, because these are the looters who sit up there and agree to everything the president says.
They will have to ratify it.
They will have to ratify it. They are our representative. We will direct our anger to them. We will direct the people to them to express the anger at them and to stop whatever ratification that will be submitted to them.
Are you going to sit in at the legislature?
Will I expose our strategy?
We will not expose our strategy.
Yes, sir. Elijah Diaz report for WAP TV Liberia. Having speaking of the issue of the 16 billion, 25 billion, $25 million, and now you are coming up with the oil issues. You are not getting any positive result from the essence of the money that got raising according to you guys. And now coming out with oil issues. Are you going to yield and result this time around?
Let me ask you a question. Who told you Article 17 right is every time you exercise it, you must wait until you get result before you can exercise it again? It does not work that way. Hey, hold on. Article 17 is not a right that is contingent on the fruition of an action, and then you wait until that action succeeds or bears fruit before you can exercise it again. No, you can continuously exercise. That is the reason why the Constitution does not say when you protest for oil black, you must wait until you get result before you protest for chicken air. Wait and get result before you protest for this. No, it does not work that way. You have the right to continuously exercise Article 17. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, folks. Have yourselves a wonderful day and look forward to our next press conference when we'll be announcing the date for the next protest.
So this is how we come to the end of today's program. My name is Costa Talkshow TV. Thanks for your many comments and your viewership. From the headquarters of the COP,